All right, so next project here is putting a compost system in here. If you remember on one of my last videos last spring, I built this raised garden bed and I put cantaloupe in there. It was my first time ever trying to grow something other than flowers, and I was not successful with it. So I went online and researched some different compost systems, and I settled on what's called the Subpod. It had really good reviews, and what you just do is you put it in the middle here. I have to dig this out here to the depth, and on each side of that composting bin, I'm going to be planting some herbs. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the Subpod system. I've just got the outer shell of it put together and working on the rest of it from what's going to go inside of it. I have to attach that lid to the hinges, and I'm just not there yet. But what I really want to do with the time that I have today is I'm just going to go ahead and get that raised garden bed prepared to put this in there. So this is it, Subpod system. Let's see how this thing goes. Okay, so and now here goes the back-breaking part of it. I need to get in there and turn that dirt over, make the space for my Subpod and clear that out. And anyway, let's go get dirty. Okay, let me show you this. This is what I like to see in here. Looks like there's quite a few in here. When I was in here digging, they've kind of gone down. Look at all these guys. That's what I need. My gosh, this soil has been in here, so definitely it's been like a little Garden of Eden for these worms. There's so many of these big earthworms like this in here because there were plants in here. Any type of big root system, I'm just wanting to turn this over and work it really good. So when I do plant my next plantings in here, it's nice, good, loose, rich soil. So anyway, let's finish. I think the hardest part is done. It's about as level as it's going to get. I'm just going to need to backfill in with all of this great composted soil that is in here. I have to still attach this lid and put the inside guts to this Subpod together. That won't take long. So these are the worms that have arrived from Uncle Jim's worm farm. I ordered these online for the Subpod system. So let's open these up and see what they look like. And meanwhile, I have got my coco coir is out there getting hydrated so I can put these worms into the compost bin today. Look at these worms. Oh my goodness. Okay, well they're alive, so let's add that half a cup of water. That felt kind of disgusting. So let's add a half a cup of water. Let those hydrate up. Thank you, Uncle Jim. And we'll be getting these in that Subpod today at some point. That's nice and moist. Okay, I think that's ready. Okay, so I think I've got everything I need here. I've got my bag of worms. I've got my coco coir. I have a bin here, right here, of moist cardboard. That was just this corrugated cardboard that I just tore up into little pieces. That's going to be part of the worm bedding as well. And so I'm just going to take this, and you can see there's water in it, and you want these to be nice and wet too. Everything's got to be moist for the worms. So I'll combine these together, and then I have these mats that came in with the Subpod system, and I'm just going to put these over here, and these all have to be moistened as well. I'm just going to combine this, put some of that in there. So this is what is going to go on the bottom of the Subpod. That's got to have just a little bit of water in it. So that's good. These are going to be some happy worms out here. Like this. Let's open this system here. And let me just give you a quick look down inside. That's the Subpod system. There's 2 separate containers. So what I'm gonna put in here first is I'm gonna put in this bedding material. This goes in first, and then the worms, the warm blankets. So let me put this in, half that up. This is actually pretty fun. I like doing this. I gotta show you these. This is crazy. A little disgusting, but look at all of these worms. Get rid of some of them. Oh my goodness. I think there's supposed to be like 1,200 of these guys in there. Those are red wigglers, and I think some night crawlers in there. And these will all multiply. I think they double their population within 90 days. So I'm just gonna put, oops, an escapee. All right, so I'm gonna put the rest of this bag in here. Dump those worms. Make sure nobody's left behind. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of worms. Put it over here. Okay, so let me just kind of move these guys around a little bit. And I don't know if you can kind of see right in here, there's holes all through here. And so the worms can move freely from one side to the other. And there's holes all out on the outer edge, so the worms can also crawl out into this compost bed or the raised garden bed. This is like black gold here. This is a lot of compost. So anyway, it's like a worm farm. So the only thing I have left to do now, let me put these mats on top. And these are just gonna go down right like that. These are pre-cut, they come in the package. So this is what it looks like, and you can kind of see in there. And we wait a week before we start feeding them any of the food scrap. This will give you a list of what you can actually put in it. All right, so I have got a lot of herbs just put in nursery pots around this Subpod, and I'm gonna just be checking it once a week, feeding it once a week, alternating sides, and then I'll do a follow-up video and tag on at the end of this, and we'll see how it's looking. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I know there's plenty of worms in there inside that box that I dumped in, that I bought, as well as a lot of worms that were already out here in the raised garden bed. I appreciate you watching this, and I appreciate your time, so I hope this might inspire you in some way to get your own composting system up and running. And I just have really high hopes that this is going to help out my gardening as well, using this great compost from these little worms. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and you all take care out there.